I'm back, it's me, we're here. I'm not your average tree man, and today we're embarking on a big one. I put a hole in the handle of my Husky, which has the fuel tank in it. So, we've got a new one, we've torn it down, but while we're there, figured we may as well give us some attitude. We're going to give the plastics a black dye job, and we're going to paint the main crankcase, which is enamel painted metal. We're going to rough that up and paint that black as well. And for what we're doing, because this is for me, we don't really need to break it down any further than this either. We'll give her a cheeky little muffler mod. Whilst we're in there, see what else we can tinker with. Give her a full kind of service and clean out while we're at it as well. Let's go. So, we've cleaned everything, washed everything, scored everything up ready for the paint, and then given it a blast with some carb cleaner, especially making sure that we haven't got anything left around the cylinder and down to the cylinder linkage. Now, this is the bit I am not looking forward to. Masking and covering all the bits we don't want to get paint on. Long, tedious, time for another time lapse. So whilst that's drying, we're going to have a look at the cylinder. Now, honestly, we don't really know too much about porting, so we're not going to go down that whole carving out and retiming and all that, but there's three things that we can do here. First, the top of the combustion chamber, down in there is all carbonised, we're going to get that cleaned. On the intake, we've got this massively kind of domed, rounded, oversized partition here. We're not going to go anywhere near the inner wall of the cylinder, increase the angle that this divider splits the air, and hopefully improve intake airflow without needing to do any retiming or anything fancy like that we just don't really have the knowledge for at the moment. Third, the exhaust port, all black with carbon in there, so we're going to get that cleaned out. It's even started accumulating towards the inside wall of that cylinder. But clean off this residue from our old gasket because the new one has finally arrived, so we can proceed with everything else. Better get to it. You can see now we've actually got a much straighter shot through into the combustion chamber. And the exhaust is all nicely cleaned and polished. So, there's a couple more things we're going to do to this. Little things. On this boot, this little rubber coupling, there's a big bit of rubber in the middle that just doesn't need to be there, so we're going to get rid of that, de-restrict it a little bit. Now, this saw, it's a Husqvarna 365 x-torq. So, the older 365 was 65cc. This one has a 50mm piston, same as the old 372, which gives it pretty much 72 cc's. From what everybody says, the only difference between the 50mm cylinder 365 and the 50mm 372 is hidden under this little cover. And this is a baffle that sits between the two transfers. Grind that out, take that out, you've basically got a stock 50mm 372. So that's what we're going to do. Incidentally, the new 372 XTs, they have a 52mm cylinder, giving about 74-75 cc's. We could put one of those in this, and we might well do at a later date, but for now, we'll see how this goes. So we'll give them a blast with a bit of carb cleaner, make sure there's no shavings or anything hanging about, and then we'll use a little bit of high temperature silicone adhesive just to reinforce the seal on these gaskets. So that is all the fun stuff done. Better get on with cleaning up and dyeing these plastics. We've just discovered that the chain side casing is actually metal, so back to painting on that one. We'll do that in a bit. This new handle, we're going to dye it all as one piece and then replace all the bits and bobs after, because it's a faff to get them off. The trigger on the old handle is much more satisfying than this one anyway, so we'll do. These bits have been sat in some Still Vario clean. Thanks again, Ludog, for that. Brilliant cleaning stuff. It just dissolves resin and all that burnt on gunk really, really well. Highly recommended. Anyway, we'll get these clean and then get them dyed.
we go then, she lives! So we better get tuned up and set up with a bar and all that. We've got a new bar on the way actually. I'll do that and I'll see you guys with an update in the next one.